Hey guys, Jules coming at you with another reasoning session, and today I'm going to be talking about source and whether it's enough to acknowledge source or if there's actually more to the equation than just that.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
So before I begin, I gotta make this plug. If you like these videos, you can also find me on Rumble and on Zappit, because YouTube is just playing games with the numbers, and I'm not about to play games with YouTube. This message is coming out regardless, and all that's gonna happen is we're just gonna move to other platforms, and the light is gonna shine for those of us that are ready for it. But with that being said, is acknowledging source enough to actually make the change and manifest something better? Or is that just a fundamental baseline? Is that just a law of the universe that, even the dark side recognizes? Because the dark side is subject to the light. It has no choice. Where there's light, the darkness just cannot continue to exist. And a lot of times we think like, I believe in God, I believe in source, like we all have to define source in our own way, and that should be a baseline, but that really doesn't get you any closer to source. Because look what James, the half-brother of Jesus, even says. You believe that there is one God. You do well. The devils also believe, and they tremble. And they're subject to this authority. When you come at them with this authority, they have to bow the knee. But just saying like, I believe in source, and that should be good enough to propel me, well, even they believe in source. They recognize source. But despite that, they're so far removed from walking with that essence that they actually tremble and they cower before this power. Acknowledging source isn't where true power lies. It's walking with source. It's actually being one with source. And what James is actually writing about, he's saying, you have to act out whatever you have faith in order to manifest. He says, be doers of the word and not just hearers only. Don't deceive yourself. Because, talk is cheap, and it's easy to say, I believe in something, but is that something really guiding you? Is it actually moving forward through you? And is it actually, manifesting your life for you? Or do you just acknowledge this, and are you still working through the ego? Are you still working through the physical realm, trying to manifest these non-physical potentials? We have to acknowledge and then work with the non-physical side of things in order to influence the physical from that perspective. So don't just think that acknowledging source is good enough. We have to walk with source. We have to ask source to actually guide our lives forward and actually live that potential out through us. Once we do that, source will start to manifest things in our own life, and those will be the first building blocks on which this house will be laid. That foundation will be sturdy enough in order to actually bring to pass this new world reality that we know we're deserving of, that we know we've come here to experience, but that we can't manifest all on our own from our limited ego perspective. Source has to come through to us, and in order for that to happen, we actually have to allow source to move through us. We can't just acknowledge source and say, I acknowledge source, now what do I do? We got to acknowledge source and say, okay, source, now what do you want to do? What is your perspective that you can manifest something even greater than I could ever imagine? That's where the true power lies. And that's what I want for all of you, because once I tapped into that, man, my life just took off like a rocket. And now I'm just accelerating like things you wouldn't believe. I can't even grasp my mind around this stuff, but it's happening, and it's happening now. It's happening now for a reason, because this time is the time of unfolding. It's the time of harvest, and we're seeing that crop come to fruition right before our eyes. Those of us that are on the leading edge, that is. So tap into source, acknowledge source, and allow source to actually work through you and manifest your best life yet. And you'll see horizons that you never even thought possible unfold right in front of your eyes. So I love you guys. I'll check you in the next reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste, Shalom.